I am recommending the film. I do think you should see it. I do think there's enough in the theatrical release that people will really enjoy and really get a kick out of, but ultimately it comes down to, was there more bad than good? I think there is, but there is a lot of good stuff here. I don't want to deny that. Was it a horrific film from beginning to end? No, it's not Halloween Kills. It's not Halloween Ends. It's not Avengers Endgame. It's not a corporate trash garbage product. I think they made a sincere attempt. I think they wanted to do a good job. I think they succeeded in subverting expectations in a few cases, and it was well done. It made sense with the franchise, but in many other places, they really failed, and they failed miserably, and I want to be honest about that. But there were many, many good things. Let me get to the good parts first, and then we will get to the many bad things without spoiling too much of the story. So, good, strong stuff. The beginning section was very, very good, and it actually confirms a few conspiracy theories people had, but they do have a twist, which was very clever, and I think is unique to Scream, so that was pretty interesting. And they do build upon it for a while, but slowly but surely, strong opening, things start to degenerate. But overall, the performances, except two, I'm not going to say which ones, the acting is good, but the way it's performed is not credible in two cases. But for the most part, the acting was very strong. People, I think, will like Kirby a lot, though she's not a cameo. She is in this film for a while, but you kind of wish she was there more. And the kills were pretty well designed. They're very effectively shot. The camera work is excellent. Cinematography is very strong. But beyond the kills being stylish, they don't make a lot of sense in some cases. And Who Lives and Who Survives was very, very erratic. I didn't like it. It didn't really make any sense. It seems very clearly they're setting up the next sequel, so some people are being forced to live who probably should have been dead, so that felt a little annoying. And that's the heart of the problem. There were many great aspects. A lot of the jokes were funny. They made sense. The way they pay homage to the first film, there's a lot of musical cues to the film. So there's a lot of cleverness, a lot of good stuff, but for every good scene, there's a really bad scene. For every good moment, there's maybe 2-3 bad moments. So I'd say the problem with Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, or even Endgame with Avengers, there are about 2 to 3 solid scenes, but then you have about an hour and a half of really just bad garbage, and that's just a lot. That's a lot to plow through. This isn't as bad as that, but it did feel like a big chunk. I mean, a massive chunk of this movie was pointless. There's just a lot of silly contrivances, big zigzag pattern, but it didn't matter because when they reveal the secrets at the end, you're like, you didn't need to do all that because it was so simple, and you're going to guess it very early on. You're like, it felt like a really well-constructed candy bar. And for the most part, there was a lot of substance to the style, but a lot of scenes will just be pure style. You'll be thriving on the performances. I think I'm going to say the obvious. Jenny Ortega was excellent. Comes out pretty good. Sam, I think, improved a lot. So the main characters were mostly well done, but yeah, the killers or the villains are pretty stupid and laughable. They're just basically very cardboard. And when they give their motivations, you're like, okay, it's kind of new, but not really new. I didn't grow up in New York, but I grew up on the East Coast, so that felt very real. Those were well done. A lot of things in the trailers do happen, and they happen the way you think, so that was very well done as well. But there are a couple places where the trailers were misleading, and I think people will be disappointed. I can't lie, I was very disappointed they didn't go a different route, but that's me. Strong beginning section, very dodgy middle section, but a lot of good things in that middle section. A very rushed and very problematic ending. And the final scenes are very laugh-out stupid, but I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy them. So I am recommending this, but I recommend this with a qualification that probably a lot of this you will be like, well, that was really pointless, didn't add anything, and didn't go anywhere. I think most people enjoy it, but it's very disappointing. It's not a perfect film. It's definitely not a 9 out of 10 that people are saying it is. But again, if you concentrate on the good stuff, I can see why people say it's perfect, but I have to recognize the bad stuff, and there is a lot of bad stuff. It depends on the mentality. If you're going to look at the cup half full or half empty, I'm looking at the half empty part, and it's very empty. But the half full part was pretty strong. Is it the worst Scream? I don't think it is, but it is on the weaker half. So it's probably on the weaker 3 Screams and not the strong 3 Screams, in my opinion. And that's where we are with Scream 6.